Hi, I have the fan on. I hope that's not a problem. I hope you don't hear it too much, but it's 30 degrees in here, so I really need it. So we have some catching up to do. I went book shopping yesterday, so I'm going to show you the books that I got. I also have some new information on university, so I want to catch you up a little bit with what's going on. Okay, in my defense, my decisions might have been influenced by the heat because it was really hot in the bookstore and I got 6 books and normally I don't get so many books. So I went to the secondhand part of the bookstore and I found a couple of books that I really wanted to get firsthand, but they were cheaper secondhand, so I got them secondhand, of course. So the first book that I got secondhand was Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus, and I've actually been wanting to read this book for so long. I picked it up firsthand, but then I saw it laying in the secondhand section and it looks very nice. It looks like no damage. The spine just has been, bent a little, but that's fine. It's gonna happen when I read it anyway. So I'm really happy that I found this secondhand. It was €5, so that's a great price for a book in such a good condition. And I really wanted to read this book. So if you haven't heard about Lessons in Chemistry, it's about this chemist in the 1960s, and I believe she wants to teach, but because she's a woman, she's forced to resign. Then she starts a cooking show, and there she teaches women and men facts and chemistry throughout this cooking show. Yeah, I'm really happy that I found this in the secondhand section because I'm so excited to read this. Then the next book that I found was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Other Stories in this Wordsworth Classic edition. This is a very nice edition. I have a couple of these, so I'm happy to add this to my collection. I've been really wanting to read Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I've been getting it recommended so many times. It sounds like it's a perfect book for me. So it says on the back that it's about the study of a duality of man's nature, which sounds a lot like Steppenwolf, which I'm currently reading, and I'm loving Steppenwolf so far. So this sounds like something I would really enjoy as well. It's a well-known classic and I've been recommended it so many times, so I really need to read this. So when I found this at the secondhand part in such a good condition, I really wanted to get it. It also has a couple of other stories in it because Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is probably quite a short story, so then I can read the other stories as well. This one was also €5. And then the last book that I got secondhand was this Penguin Black classic of Madame Bovary, which is a book I've been really wanting to read as well. They had some really interesting finds, especially a Penguin Black classic. These editions are so beautiful, so I'm really happy whenever I see this secondhand. Madame Bovary is this classic about a woman who kind of goes off the rails, and I love those books. I think it really fits with like Jane Eyre. This is of course a well-known classic as well, and I can't wait to read it. I think I'm gonna love it, and I love that I have this edition. I think the cover is so beautiful. I love the Penguin Black classics, and I think it goes very well on my bookshelves. So those were the 3 books that I got secondhand. All of these 3 have been so high on my TBR, like so highly anticipated, that I'm really happy that I found these secondhand, and I can't wait to read them. Then I also got some books firsthand. So I firstly just wanted to buy those 3, but then I walked downstairs and they had a sale going on for Penguin books. It was 3 for the price of 2, and I saw 3 books that I really wanted to read, so I got them. As I said, I think my decisions were affected by the heat because I normally don't buy so many books. That's my excuse, but no, I'm gonna love all these books. I'm kind of justifying it to myself. I don't need to justify it, it's my money. Okay, let me just show them to you. So the first book that I got was Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. Now if you see my last video, is it my last? My vacation video, you know that I got White Nights by Dostoevsky. So I thought I wanted to expand my Dostoevsky collection by buying Crime and Punishment. Now this is such a highly anticipated read for me. I'm really excited for this. It sounds like I will really enjoy it. So Crime Punishment is about this man who commits a crime, and he has to deal with, of course, the physical consequences, going to jail, but also the mental consequences of committing a crime. So this book is not only about the consequences that the law enforces on you, but also the consequences of your mind and your guilt. This is one of Dostoevsky's most famous books, and I haven't read it yet, which is such a shame. So I need to change that, and I need to read this. So I'm really happy that I got this one, and I can't wait to pick it up. Then, as I said, it was a 3 for 2 sale, so I got 2 books more. I got Aurelius's Meditations, which I have been hearing a lot more about on booktube, especially. This book has been recommended to me, and it's basically the stories of a Roman emperor who was also a philosopher. So it's his meditations, and I think it's going to be really interesting. I'm actually going to be taking some philosophy classes next year, so I'm really excited to get more into philosophy. It's always been a great interest of mine, and I can't wait to study it as well. So I'm always looking for more philosophy literature, and I found this one. I'm very interested to see how this has aged over time, because this has been written such a long time ago. So I'm very eager to know, did they think the same as we do now? Do they struggle with the same things? And of course, what advice does a Roman emperor write down in his book? I'm so interested in that. So yeah, I can't wait to read this one. As you can see, both of these are Penguin Black classics as well. I just love these editions. They look so beautiful. I wanted to show you the last book, but I think I'm gonna keep it a secret for now, because I was thinking of using it in an upcoming video, so I kind of want to keep it a surprise. So I'm not going to show you that one, but you'll see very soon, I promise. It's a very beautiful book, and it has been hyped so much on BookTok, so I'm sure you'll be excited to see it. So those are all the books I got at the bookstore. Hi, and welcome to this video. It's August 1st now, but it's raining so badly outside. So today I'm actually going to therapy. I'm going to meet my new therapist today, so I'm a little bit nervous, but it's gonna be fine. I'm also going to be looking for my next year courses for university today. The schedules have been uploaded today. I have a little bit of free space, so I can choose my own courses next year. So I'm gonna be looking at what courses I want to do, which is quite exciting. I'm really excited to start the new year. I'm ready to go back to uni. I love studying and I love psychology, so I can't wait to get back to uni. But today I'm actually gonna start therapy. Just need to put on some jewelry and then I can leave, and I'll see you afterwards. Hi, I'm back. Therapy actually went really well. I'm happy that I'm finally off the waiting list and it's finally my turn. I've been waiting for a long time, so I'm really happy that I got to start today. This month, I'm actually starting my 4th year of university. I had a little delay in my studies because of my health, and now I only have to do my thesis. So I'm now looking at which subject I'm gonna take. My last subject at uni, that's so crazy. I've done all my mandatory subjects, so I can also choose something outside of psychology. So I'm first going to look if there are any psychology subjects left that I can take. Otherwise, I'm probably going to choose something in the field of either philosophy or economics, because both of those subjects really interest me. I am looking if I want to pursue a master's, so I'm not entirely done with school yet, but being done with my bachelor's is already such a crazy thing to think about. So to think that I'm so close is actually, yeah, I never believed I would be here. Hi, it's Monday, and today I'm going to be able to enroll in my classes for the first semester. So back to school season is officially here. Because I'm just writing my thesis, I also have some space for elective courses. So I get to choose some courses that interest me, that are outside of my psychology program. So I've actually found a couple of literature courses that interest me. So I emailed the professor with my motivation and everything, and she emailed me back today saying that I could take the course. So I'm actually going to be studying literature next semester, which is so crazy. I just never expected that I was going to be studying literature. It's so exciting and I'm really looking forward to it. So I think it's going to be quite a challenge because I've never done that before. So we're actually going to be looking at really important works and how they are written and how they influenced other classics. So that really interests me and I'm really happy that I'm going to be able to take that course. But I think it's going to be a challenge because I've never taken such a course before. Since I'm not from that program, I'm kind of going to be the outsider there, but it's going to be fine. I'm really excited. Then I'm also looking to take more philosophy courses because philosophy is something that really interests me, and now that I have the elective space, I would love to study more philosophy. But most philosophy courses are quite long, so I'm still kind of looking to see if I want to study it now or maybe after my bachelor and focus on my thesis right now. So that was my fun update. I'm going to be studying literature next semester. I'm also going to be doing my bachelor thesis, so it's a very exciting semester. So that was my update. I think I'm going to enroll now and I'll see you later. Bye. Hi, welcome back. It's currently 32 degrees Celsius, so I'm kind of evaporating here, but I'm also in the middle of a couple of books. I'm currently reading A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. I have a lot of thoughts about this one. It's very surprising, actually. It has a lot to it, so let me introduce this book to you. A Study in Drowning basically follows Effie, and Effie has so many bad things happen in her life. Basically, every aspect of her life is bad. She loves stories by this national author, so she really wants to study literature, but there are no women allowed in literature programs, so she's studying architecture. So when the author she really loves passes away, there's this opportunity to design a mansion for his remaining family members, and she takes it and she actually gets the opportunity and she gets to go down to design this mansion. Now everything is not really what it seems, and there's also another person there who is studying for his own program, and they kind of become like rivals. So it's kind of an enemies to lovers situation. Now this idea, this dark academia kind of mystery novel sounds so intriguing, and this is why I want to read this book. It sounds so good and the setting is so beautiful that I was really intrigued, but the execution is really not what I was expecting. There are a couple of things that I find really questionable and I don't agree with at all. So first of all, I really don't like the inconsistencies in our main character Effie. It feels like the trauma is very inconsistent and it's only there when it's convenient, and when the love interest is saying something, it's not there anymore. Effie's fear of men is a really big part of this book, which makes sense because she's been assaulted and every man that she meets is romantically interested in her, which is very strange, but it makes sense that she would have this life view where men are just dangerous, and that's very understandable. But then it's weird that it doesn't apply to the love interest. Every man that she meets, she's immediately so afraid of, which makes sense for her trauma. I'm not trying to belittle that. But when the love interest is near her, which is also male, she's not afraid at all. And it's just so weird. It's never explained why her trauma is suddenly gone when she's with the love interest. So it seems like convenient for the plot. For example, I was reading this and I was just so angry. I'm trying to make it spoiler free, but if you really want to hear nothing about the book, then skip to this time. So there's basically this scene where they have to be together. They're kind of academic rivals, but they're not really rivals because they're not even studying the same program. They're not going after the same thing. They're not doing even the same thing, so they're not rivals at all. And then they have to share a room. So basically Effie needs her sleeping pills to sleep. She has so much anxiety she can't sleep without them, but then she goes somewhere and she forgets them. I don't know how you can forget those, but okay, she forgets them, so she can't sleep. So the guy is like, okay, how can I help you? And she asks, can you please stay with me tonight? Because otherwise I'm not going to sleep. Which already thought was weird because he's a man and, you know, she has this fear. So how would that make her less anxious? I don't know. So he stays with her and she immediately falls asleep, okay? And the next morning she says, and you kept your hands to yourself. She couldn't help but try to fluster him more. just because she liked the way he looked blushing. He hadn't touched her, but Saints, she wanted him to. And it's trying to be like this romantic thing, but this is page 230. 230 pages have been about how she's so traumatized because of sexual assault and how she's so afraid of men. And every man she sees, she immediately like has this traumatic response. And then she's saying things like that just because it's the main like love interest. It's so inconsistent. It's so weird. Like, where has the trauma gone? Like, is the trauma in the room with us or what is going on? Because it's so inconsistent. It's so weird. Why is everything just forgotten and excused when it comes to the love interest? I don't know. I feel like if you're going to write a book about such severe trauma, then don't leave it out when it's convenient. Basically right now, my feeling of this book is that it is trying to do so much, and I thought it was very brave to create this whole new world with this backstory and folklore and wars and political system and magic and everything. She's trying to do so much, this author, and I really respect that, and I thought it was very cool. But a lot of the topics are very underexplored and the characters are kind of annoying and inconsistent. The mystery is very fun. It's clearly young adults and they're trying to solve something. It's kind of giving me a Good Girl's Guide to Murder vibe of like them teaming up to solve something together. Yeah, that's really fun. I'm enjoying it, but the inconsistencies, especially related to the trauma, are just too big to overlook and they're annoying me. So that's my update. I'm going to continue this. I'll see you when I have another update or when I've finished it, and I'll see you later. I finished A Study in Drowning, and I've been thinking a lot about this book, which is a positive sign. I don't have it anymore because I brought it back to the library. I lent it from the library, so of course I gave it back. It was really interesting. I really liked the plot and the story and the world building, and I think the author, I think I talked about this, the author is trying to do so much at once. There is a lot of depth, there's a lot of world building going on. She's trying to tell so many stories at once, which is very ambitious and very brave, and I think it makes the book way more interesting than if it was just a love story, so I applaud her for that. But I do feel like the book was a little too short to be able to explore all of the topics properly, and a lot of the interesting topics like the war or the world, the politics, the magic were very underdeveloped. Magic is not explained at all. It's not explained whether it's actually real or not, or just a belief. It's not explained how it actually works or how they come to believe it works. As for the war, it just feels like it's kind of there to give the main characters something to disagree about. It's not actually something that affects their story at all, and it's not explained why they're at war or what's going on. As for the characters, our main character Effie, she just has a lot going on and she has a lot of problems and a lot of trauma, but then it affects the whole book except for the romance parts. All of a sudden when she's with the romantic interest, she doesn't experience those trauma symptoms anymore. Maybe it's because I'm studying psychology, but I'm very sensitive to authors using drama and psychology in their books. I think it's a really good thing to give attention to, but it needs to be done properly. The character development of Effie was great. I love to see her redemption arc in the end. As for the plot, I thought it was very predictable. About halfway through the book, I guessed how it was gonna go, so that wasn't very surprising to me anymore, unfortunately. So I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars. It was a nice book. I liked the vibes, I liked the world. I think the author was really trying to create something more than just a romance book. It has really interesting points. The world building is very interesting and fun, and the rainy aesthetic was so great. So those were the things I really liked, but there were a lot of things missing and underexplored and a lot of plot holes. So that's why I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars. Then I read another book. I read The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse, which is this children's book with a lot of drawings, and it's about this boy who's kind of lost, and he meets these animals on the way, and they all have a different personality, and they have something to tell the boy, something to learn the boy. So it's a really interesting book. I love the drawings. I'm really debating on the star rating. The story was kind of incoherent. It felt like a lot of loose conversations just glued together. But yeah, I think the wisdom is so important, and especially for younger children. So I really liked it. I think I'm gonna give it 5 or 4.5 stars. So yeah, I'm really happy that I read that. Now I am almost done with Steppenwolf. I read some more of it last night and I'm almost done. And wow, is this my new favorite book? It might be. I know it's not a book for everyone. It's a very specific book. It's really about a man who feels very separated from society. He feels like he's not part of society and he shouldn't be here. He's born in the wrong time, and he's really at war with himself, and he asks a lot of philosophical and meaningful questions, and it kind of turns more depressive at some point. But then he meets someone and he finally feels understood. However, the person he meets is also very at war with herself, but amidst all of that, they still find each other and they still find some meaning in each other. I'm scared that it's gonna have a sad ending, but I need to read that to find out what the ending is. But it's so beautiful, and the writing is just, it's so gorgeous, and I feel like the author really put in a lot of his own thoughts and philosophies in there. Sometimes it feels like the author is talking to you instead of our main character. I don't have a physical copy. I'm reading it as an ebook on my laptop, but I really want to get a physical copy at some point and just annotate it. I have some annotations on my ebook, so I can put them over into my physical copy. I would definitely recommend you check trigger warnings before you read the book, because there are some heavy topics in there and they're very explicitly mentioned. So I would definitely recommend you check the trigger warnings. But for me, I think I found a new favorite book, so I'm really happy about that. Next is Steppenwolf. I'm also reading These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. Yes, I'm doing it. This was on my June TBR, but I never got around to reading it, and now I'm reading it. I think this is a bad thing to say, but I think I'm figuring out that YA romance is maybe not my favorite genre. I've been reading a lot of YA. I read As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow, Study in Drowning, and then These Violent Delights, and I just feel like the conversations are just, it feels like teenagers talking, even though Study in Drowning was university students, so they were actually my age, but they felt like they were so young. I don't know, the conversations just feel very awkward, and maybe it's the YA part about it. So I have an idea that maybe YA is not really for me, but I'm still gonna read These Fine Delights. I've been enjoying the world so far. What I really don't like about YA books, and this book especially, is the same that happened in Throne of Glass, where the main protagonist thinks a lot. She has a lot of threatening thoughts. She has a lot of insults and ideas to kill someone and hurt someone and get revenge. And then when she speaks, she says nothing. She just says some ridiculous insult, or she just stands there blushing. But then as soon as that moment's over, her thoughts go back, and she's so ruthless and she's so mean in her thoughts. But then in reality, she does nothing of that. That's what I really hate. I don't know how to express it properly. If you read it, you'll know what I mean. It just seems like she's so unintimidating. Whereas with Throne of Glass, for example, she's supposed to be a ruthless assassin, and with this book Juliette is supposed to be a gang leader, or she's supposed to become a gang leader. But she seems so unintimidating. She's trying to be very mean and intimidating and ruthless and trying to live up to that gang leader expectations, but she's actually not, and that kind of makes her character very underwhelming, I think is the right word. But I'm not that far in, so maybe she's gonna get a redemption and she is gonna be very ruthless and brave and cool, and we're just gonna have to see. But I'm sensing a pattern with YA books that the main character is not as intimidating as they think they are, which is kind of annoying me. So maybe YA is just not for me. I'm gonna continue these Flying Delights. Then I have a lot of books in mind that I want to pick up afterwards. So I already have some reading plans for August. And I know I didn't make a TBR, but I already have some reading plans for August in my mind. Now, as I told you earlier in this vlog, I am going to be taking a literature course next semester, and I'm really excited for that one. And we just got the reading list, so we have 2 books that are required reading, and then the other books that we need to read will be posted as PDFs online. So I had to get 2 books for this class, and the rest is going to be online. I'm actually quite scared. You'll see in a minute why I'm scared, but let me grab the books. So I ordered them and they came in 2 separate packages. I don't know why, but let's open them. Let's start with the first one. Oh my god. Again, you can see a theme. I got the Penguin Black Classics. Wow, it's really floppy. I got Homer's The Iliad. Yes, I'm going to be taking a course on Homer. I'm really scared because I saw that we need to read the Iliad in 3 weeks. And the Iliad, if you don't know, it's almost 700 pages. So I'm going to be reading a lot for school. I've never taken a class on Homer before, or on literature in general, or on anything Greek or Roman. So this is going to be so far out of my comfort zone, but I'm really excited. So here we have the first one, which is the Iliad. And here we have the second one, which is the Odyssey. Oh my god. Wait, this one is so different. Okay, so this is also a Penguin Black Classic. I don't know if you can see, but this printing is so different because this is really floppy and thin, and this is actually matte paper. It feels really thick. It's just a minor detail, but this one is dark blue and this one is black. We're reading both of these books in 6 weeks, which is such a short time. And then we need to do an exam on these. So it's going to be a very interesting course, but I think it's going to be a lot of work. So as I said, I think this course is going to be such a good challenge for me. I think it's really going to get me out of my comfort zone and do something that I think I'm going to love because it has to do with books. I think I'm going to learn a lot. Right now, I don't think I'm ever going to do a literature degree. I love psychology and I want to work in psychology as well. So to include literature in this way in my degree is going to be such a good challenge and such a beautiful opportunity, and I can't wait to get started. So those are the updates for now. Thank you for listening to me rambling. I think I'm going to continue reading and I'll see you later.